Hello and welcome to Chilled Cardano. I am Eric and this is my co-host Mike. We're here for another week of wonderful ADA news and CNFT news. Mike, we're seeing a little bit of a bull run at this moment, if you can even call it that. But things are starting to heat up with that Vasil hard fork in our near future. So does this excite you, or is it just another fake out breakout?
It's been around a year, Eric. I think we're due. I think we might get a nice little relief rally here because I think everybody knows we're raising rates at a certain point every month, and they're on break for, I believe they're on break for August, so we won't get another hike until September. So that gives us like 6 weeks where the market will have like some type of a relief rally, and that like coincides with the Vasil hard fork update, which will take place sometime at the end of August. As long as they don't get any more bugs. This is an issue I've been tracking because the Vasil hard fork was supposed to be done June. And then it got pushed back because they found a couple bugs. Any of the updates recently, but they've gotten to the point where they're issuing release dates for it. So a little bit worried about that. But at the same time, I think they're just like, you know what? Let's not get people's hopes up. Like, if we find another bug, like, we're going to have to push it back another 2 weeks or another 4 weeks. I wish they had a better way of updating the system with the exchanges. I think this is the other issue is finding, like, hey, talking to Coinbase's people, talking to FTX. I don't even think we're on FTX. I'm sorry. But, like, all the other exchanges, and then, like, being like, okay, everybody on the same day, we're going to update it. Let's do this together. And they could care less because they have 1,000 other cryptocurrencies, right? That they're dealing with and all their problems. So it's very convoluted. I wish there was a better way to update the system, but we're running into a couple of hiccups. But I think we're at the right point. I think this thing's finally going to go off end of August, beginning of September. That's what I'm hoping for. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I hope so too, Mike. Another exciting development is the lines are back on my chart. So I drew some resistance and support lines here, and I was excited to see that we kind of, at first we got rejected by this, 50-cent-ish resistance. But then yesterday we kind of broke back through. And I'm hoping we're kind of in this, now we're in a new range where like the top is like 62 cents. And we'll see if we can get up there and test that, see if we could break through. But I don't know. We'll see what, the broader market does. Bitcoin is kind of doing the same rangey thing. A lot of people seem to think this might be the bottom here. And then we'll like grind out the ranges and hopefully, I don't know, months down the line, we'll start, another bull run. But it's exciting to see like positive price movement, it seems like. But we'll see how long it lasts. There's still a lot of things in like the stonk market that could affect us, like like the Fed hiking interest rates. It always seems like we get a big reaction to that, so that'll be coming soon, and then up through that news, which will probably be, not good.
But we're also like decorrelating from the stocks, right? So pie in the sky thinking like, but in the future we will finally decorrelate from stocks because this is Web3. This is a new thing happening in our evolution of humanity. And it's funny when people like criticize the stock market, things going down, things dying. Where do they go to talk about this stuff? They go to Twitter, they go to their social media accounts, and that is literally what we're using. Talk about this stuff. This is the place that you go to cope, right? we're all shitting on technology, but at the same time, we're using technology rails to connect with each other. Starting to realize this thing's becoming more than just like a stock market, 9 to 5. You go there, you leave. People are living in discords. People are living on Twitter. They're making spaces where you talk to each other. We're getting to this point of hyper connectivity where it's almost like you almost feel like you're missing out at all points in time, right? Like you're waking
Yeah.
up at 2 in the morning being like, what did somebody say? That has value. Yeah. And all these apps have like this weird connection to you, your favorite baseball team, your favorite football team, and your job and your religion and all these things tied together. As time goes along and more people find out about it, I just think it's decorrelate more from like regular markets because you're going to get such hyper connectivity. It'll be like TikTok on steroids, I think, because you're gonna have so many people utilizing all these apps. Like even if people are like trading $1, but if you have billions of people doing that, it's just like gonna consume everything on a scale we've never seen before. So like I don't know if that's happening right now today, but I just think you're starting to get the hint of it because it cracks me up. We see all these people like being like, "Oh, this is gonna die, this is gonna die," and it's like it can't get any fucking worse than it's at right now. And people are still like so bullish about NFTs, all these upcoming apps. Like, I just believe in human optimism, and I think as we go along, it's just gonna be so regular people are just gonna have to fucking pay attention and be like, what is this? What's going on here? Why are these people always excited? You know, like what are they so excited about that nobody else is? You know what I mean? And it also like gives you an
Yeah.
escape towards the regular day-to-day life too, like supposedly losing their jobs and shit like that. But I still see people like who don't have a lot, they're always on their smartphones where they take solace, right? If you can cope on Facebook, if you have an app that's like Facebook but that pays you, that'll probably take over that person's life more so than just being on Facebook. If I can get paid for my thoughts, why wouldn't I just do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think a lot of these apps are being built out right now. You're seeing it. You're seeing like Step In on Solana, where like you're getting paid to walk around. You buy a pair of sneakers on their app, and then like they pay you. People become more and more familiar with how to code these things. It's going to become more and more natural, and the people who are here early are going to just kill it. But I think everyone's going to
Yeah.
kill. Like I just think it'll be the new economy. To be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen people don't want to go back to their jobs. Like we've had this conversation with our sister, right? And like she has a great
Mhm.
job, but they're making her go back to the office 3 times a week. She
Her
doesn't want
boss
to do
watches
that
this, by the
anymore.
way.
Cool. Um, um,
Yeah,
but
no.
like, yeah, so it's just like everybody wants to work from home. And the only way to do that is on the internet. So if that's the case, then you have to invest in the internet and internet infrastructure for that to like let everybody work on the internet. Like if that's an option and you can hang out with your kids and your family and make them breakfast instead of like driving an hour to your job, they're it's just happening, you know? Like and that's why it's just like why not invest in here right now early and start to make those plays and be here when that happens instead of 6 years down the road
Instead of
and you
fighting it so hard.
exactly.
Yeah. I was thinking about instead of all these mega corporations like Disney or whatever, like in all these movies, right? They're making
Yeah.
random movies that like no one gives a shit about just to make money, right? So that model could get flipped on its head where people directly pay creators to create movies they want to see. Doing that through like blockchain would be perfect. I don't know if it would be an NFT or something, but you could say, I want to make this movie, and then people pay into this fund and they get royalties off of whatever the movie makes, and you're part of that whole process instead of Disney getting all the money for their stupid movie
Right.
about Minions 8 or whatever. And, like the consumer just buys into it, pays some crazy cost, and then gets nothing except a bad movie.
Mhm.
Like, instead, they get to decide what movies come out and basically vote with their money. But I mean, it probably won't happen because they have so much money and they can just funnel the future, whatever they want it to be. But in an ideal world, I feel like that could work. Maybe for like smaller, you know, TV shows and movies, because sometimes it's hard to get off the ground if you don't have like a millions of dollars, you know?
I think that's a great point. I think you're already seeing it happen with Board Ape Yacht Club. They're already making movies with movie studios. I think as DAOs evolve and we start to figure out how they really work, because like, and if you guys haven't seen it, go check out our DAO interview with Opus DAO last week. But there's definitely been some broader discussion topics about it and how to like delegate those responsibilities, because like right now it's so easy for the people who created it to like control all of it, you know. And until you can
Yeah.
truly like decentralize like the decision making of a brand, like we could, let's take Chilled Kongs for instance. It's basically Minions, right? Like you've created this brand. This brand is Minions. This brand is Chilled Kongs, right? And then you can make movies with Chilled Kongs. Like you could take
Hmm.
your NFT and be like, all right, I'm gonna make a movie about my guy going through, you know, his ups and downs, you know.
His
Um,
heroin addiction.
exactly, his heroin addiction, whatever story you want to tell, like that's up to you. But I think because it's all attached to a blockchain, like you can like fund it through people through an NFT, some type of design. Like obviously, this all this stuff is pie in the sky right now. Like we need somebody to codify all this stuff, but I think it's definitely going to get there. And it's like if you give people the opportunity to invest in something that they can get a return from, and it's also something they're like already on board for, like they already love the artwork and they're making T-shirts and hats and stuff like that. Like it's just a no-brainer. Like it's just a
Yeah.
different type of media. Like what's the difference between movies, TV shows, a YouTube video, a TikTok? It's just a different way to um, consume a media.
Yeah.
It's just like however you want to define it, you can do that. So it's just like the writing's on the wall, you know. And like
Yeah.
you say like Disney's gonna take over and shit like that, but I just think when you have so many small communities, like I just believe in people. It's like people always win. Decentralization always wins. Like a small group of people can change the way history moves so much more than one massive company, because they have to go through so many decision makers, right? Whereas like two or three people can make moves so fast and so quickly, especially if they have enough monetary value to like put the right money into the right people's pockets. We've seen this story so many times play out, you know?
Yeah. Especially if they're like, visionaries, they can
Yeah. But that's what's
disrupt the
cool.
market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there can be a visionary in the Philippines who's like who might turn out to be the best fucking venture capitalist of all time. And now that he has access to the internet and he has access to funding through these blockchains,
Yeah.
like he might be able to make something so fucking like cool and like changes like the direction of humanity, you know? And that's why it's just so fun to be here, because it's, you know, like we're so used to the world being so Western centric, you know, whereas
Yeah.
America and Canada and Europe, whereas like now we, you know, like these smaller community of people in India, China, you know, South America, they get to play now too. It's like it's even now. So it's like whoever
Yeah.
has the best idea wins, and you're seeing that play out, and it's so much fun to see, you know, these projects come from South America and take over, or like, you know, just wherever.
Yeah.
There's smart
Yeah. It's
people
exciting.
everywhere, you know.
Yeah, for sure. They just need the visibility and the funding. So, um, but yeah, I agree what you're saying about like people who are I don't know, like anti NFT, and they're like, "Oh, this stuff it's a fad or whatever." It's kind of funny because people say that about everything, like people will be like, "Oh, the car. Yeah, we have horses and like, buggies. Like, what do we need the car for? What
Right.
are you, an idiot?" It's like the same thing. I mean, it could go away and be like end up being nothing. But it's just weird that people want to. I guess it's like natural, but there's early adopters and there's the majority that will naysay until it's up in their face and they're like, oh, these are cool.
Well, not
Pokemon
only that,
Pokemon
yeah.
NFTs, you got to get one. Like when there's some mainstream thing that becomes an NFT, everyone's gonna want it, and then they're gonna be like, why didn't I get into this before?
Yeah, I was listening to an interview with some dude who wrote a Web3 book, and like the comment section was just so funny because I find it so funny that people criticize technology on a technology platform. Like, how fucking closed mind is your fucking like? I just like,
Yeah.
how can you use YouTube to criticize like the next advancement in technology? Like, it doesn't make sense to me how you could not see it. It's like right there. Like, we could
Well, they're
talk
just using
about.
it.
Go ahead.
They're not smart enough. They're just using the platform. They're not smart enough to have the foresight to be like, oh, what's the next YouTube gonna be? They're like, this
Right.
is it. This
This
is
is it.
YouTube, the
Right.
end
It doesn't.
of streaming stuff.
But it's like it's so hard for me to think that way when it's like every program you use is like it's like OBS 27.24. It's like they're the next one's gonna OBS like dot 2425. Like they're always iterating to make it better. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so weird to me that people will just look at an app like YouTube and be like, no, it's been like this since 2006 or like whenever YouTube came out. It's like if you go back and you look at YouTube when it first started, it was a pile of shit. Like if you
Yeah.
ever tried to use YouTube, it would freeze constantly. Like you could barely watch a 1 minute video without it buffering, and it was awful. Like you couldn't use it on your phone for sure.
Yeah.
And now we're watching like 8K videos on our phone. So it's just weird to me that people don't see the evolution of everything like moving forward. And it's like with blockchains, it's just like, don't you want to get paid for consuming? Like don't you want to have a part of that value set? Like it would make your
Yeah.
life so much easier if you have all these different strings of like investments that come in instead of just your one day job. You know what I mean? Like you're getting paid from your NFTs, you're getting royalties from being part of this group. Like and it just like starts coming in and then you can help other people too. Like you have so much income coming in that you start to like turn around and be like, I have too much. Like I need to start figuring out a way to share this with other people. And I think it
Yeah.
just it just becomes so much more natural to feel that way. And you see it too, like with all these charity groups and like sometimes you'll see on Twitter like some kid has cancer and like all of a sudden like all these Twitter bros will just like bombard the GoFundMe with like millions of dollars. And it's just so fun to see that. I think stuff like
Yeah.
that will take place more often.
It's kind of crazy. Like before I got into crypto and stuff, I was just thinking about like I would never save money or anything. Like I would spend it right away. And I would just buy like Uber Eats and like food. Like I just love eating out and shit.
Yeah.
And like now that I've discovered crypto, it's like now it gives me a reason to like save money and like invest in crypto, but also I feel like it gives me like an aim in life. Like I want to see what happens in with Cardano, especially like I want to be a part of whatever's happening here. And like my day job is just, like a means for me to make money so I can like continue in this world.
Yeah.
And like before that, I don't know. I had like hobbies and stuff, but I didn't really have like a vision for the future of like what do I want to do long term. And I feel like that's like the most exciting thing about the space. It's like you're at the bottom building,
Yeah.
helping build this thing, even if you're not like a developer, you're
You're part of the
getting the
team.
word out. Yeah, getting the word out, you're testing stuff, you're deciding like what's going to make it and
Mhm.
what you're going to invest in. And I don't know. It sucks like hours of my day out, but I enjoy it.
No, I totally agree. I feel the same way. It makes me super optimistic for the future, and just like watching things go, like it's fun too. Like just watching things go up and down, and like you'll have certain NFTs that like will like be at their high, and then they'll fade out, and then you're like, well, you know what? I think this thing has some promise, and then 6 weeks later, it's like back in the top 10. So it's like, oh yeah, like I'm glad I stuck with it. Like I'm glad I didn't sell that thing, or you get to always like look
Yeah,
at your moves and you start to realize everything's cyclical, like in truly ever dies. And
and not even a top 100 or something. Then
right,
it's probably dead.
but what's cool too is like because everything's on the blockchain, like everything's recorded forever, someone's gonna make an app and they'll be able to like review your portfolio and be like, these are the wrong moves that you made. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then you'll be able
that's
to
true.
learn from that information and be like, okay, like and you'll start to see trends and patterns, right, in your thinking, and at the end of the day, it just makes you better at like no bullshit, like just becoming a better person because you'll start to make better decisions, right? And that shit starts to bleed out into your real life too. Like you start to realize like you don't have to live and die with every loss and every win that you make in life too. And it's like
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't like, get so hard on myself and get so down on myself at like certain things that don't go my way, or or even when you do win, like you don't have, it's not like you won the Super Bowl or like
yeah.
you
It's
don't
like
have
you
to
got to
like,
keep going,
yeah, it's like,
moving to
okay,
the next thing.
yeah,
Still,
right. And like you said, it just makes you want to save, and like you start to think about the future and like the next generation. And if anybody has kids out there, I've got a kid coming on my way, so you definitely start thinking about that next generation, and what NFTs I'm going to get for that little guy
or girl.
or girl. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. Like it gives you something to work towards in the future, and it's all exciting. Um, so let's talk about some NFTs. Why don't we? Um,
Let's get into it.
the first one I want to talk about is the ones behind me, the Vox Kongs, Mike. So these bad boys were given to holders of chilled Kongs. Pretty much everyone was supposed to get one, and we were all whitelisted. Me and Mike both have one, so there you go. And they were like 25 ADA, and the mint was on NFT Maker. There was a little bit of sketchiness with the mint because some people realized if you manually sent the funds, I think you could just keep sending as many times as you want. As long as you sent 25 ADA, you kept being able to mint. So some people got like a shit ton. You're only supposed to be able to get one.
Can I clarify that?
So yeah.
Um, I think what they were doing was, how you have your stake key.
Hmm.
So you know how like that stake key can generate extra receive addresses. So I think
Yeah.
if you use those receive addresses, because something like that, like you were able to, it was either that
Uh,
or that list that got sent out, that Excel spreadsheet, you could copy paste the last four numbers because that's all they were using to verify, and then put that in manually every time. So people were minting like eight at a time. It was some
wow.
fuckery
People are
because it was, and that was NFT Maker's fault because
yeah.
they should have did some more verification for that, but they
They're
didn't,
taking
and they
shortcuts
messed
over
up.
there.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah. So they had to stop the mint for like 24 hours to correct that. Uh, and then they finished the mint, and I think the Vox Kongs were selling for like 200 something ADA for a while. And then ever since then, they've kind of slowly gone down. Now they're like 95 ADA. But these guys are going to be, fully available in the metaverse to use. They're like 3D character models. So that's pretty cool. Um, there's only like 4,044 something like that of them. Uh, so I think they're really cool. I think the price right now is pretty great. I am thinking about getting some more of them. And I think just the association with chilled Kongs, like long term, is really like it's hard to find projects that have like a good brand recognition like that are going for this cheap. So I think long term they're a good option. I don't know. In the next month or two, they'll probably stay pretty low, but I like them, Mike. I think they're cool looking. And I got one of the most rare ones. So of course it went to like nine. It's going to go to like 10 ADA because I have a rare one.
Well, I think with a brand too, like you can never be too scared to like hang on to your assets, especially when it's a strong brand. Like it's there's always like this weird selling and everyone capitulates. I just think because most of the retail and NFT space, they don't understand how markets work and they everyone just sells at a loss at a certain point. And then that's
Yeah.
like if you're into it for a longer time, like you start to realize like usually strong brands, everything that they have like tends to do pretty well in a long enough
Yeah.
timeline. So like I want to see where the floor is, and I definitely want to scoop up some more and just hang on to them. For
Yeah.
even if I get a 2x on it, it's a win. A win is a win. Um, yeah, you're already seeing the floor starting to go creep back up. It's just one of those things. I mean, you could easily see this thing go back up to you know probably like 300. I mean, because there's so little of them too. It's not like there's 10,000. Um,
Yeah.
and I
Especially
also
if you look
love.
at
Go ahead.
the like the sister project, the Vox cats are like
Yeah.
at 150 and there's 10,000 of them. So it's like there's room, to go up. But
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's a metaverse play too. So it's like you get to use these guys in everything that, comes out. Like I'm pretty sure at some point every single metaverse on Cardano will be connected. So it'll be fun to go into Pavia with your Voxcong or Virtua or even whatever the hell the Clay Nation's making.
yeah, yeah, but
So
it's
I'm
still very
bullish.
early.
And it's kind
Yeah.
of cool. Like if you don't have 3,000 ADA to buy a regular chilled Kong, like I'll buy. Like if I didn't have the price point, like 100 ADA is a lot easier to swallow than 3,000. You know,
Yeah.
so I could see a lot of smaller players just grabbing one just to be like, I want to be a part of this club, and who knows what these can get you whitelisted into eventually too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you said about people just like I mean, no one is really selling for a loss because they bought it at 25 with these, but
well,
everyone just
people who
wants
bought on
as a
secondary,
trade.
right?
Oh yeah.
If you bought like at
Yeah.
150 ADA and now it's at 100, you're like, well, I just want the liquidity.
Yeah. But that seems to be a very common trend. Like especially like these past couple months, people will mint it, and then if it's not above the mint price, like immediately they're selling,
Yeah.
and then no one's gonna buy on the secondary market when it's below the mint price. So, or no one's gonna mint it when it's below the mint price on secondary. So it just kind of stalls out for a lot of projects. Um, so my strategy has been just to like, if I mint a project, I'll probably do like I'll try to get like five because I don't know, everything's really cheap lately to mint. Uh, and then if I get like a top 500 or something, I usually like something pretty rare. I'll try to sell that right away and then get my money back. And then I'm not freaking out about like, holy shit, I'm not gonna make my money back. And then I can just hold the rest and be like, we'll see what happens. I
Right.
mean, it makes it less risky. I mean, I don't have the rare one anymore, but I don't know that I'm starting to wonder how valuable the rare thing is. Like, I think if unless you're like top 10, like no one really cares that much,
Yeah.
or top 100. Like once you're past top 100, it's just like whatever, I feel
Right.
like. So, but I've been doing well with just trying to like just sticking to that strategy lately, but it also requires luck to get like rare ones, so
Yeah.
you can easily get burned. So another one I minted, Mike, was Hungry Cows by Muesli Swap. I was whitelisted for this because I guess I was in their pool for like a day, so like a while ago. So I guess that got me a mint. So I was like, I might as well do it. Seems similar to like the the aqua farmers. It's kind of a similar thing. So I was like, it'll probably do pretty decent. So I bought one for 45, and then they went up to like 100 because they minted like half of their stock, just I guess to see if it would sell out.
Right.
And then they did the rest a couple days later, and now it's down to like 54. But I kind of wish I had got more, but I didn't know what was going to happen, so I just did the one, and
What
I
was the
just
mint
sold it
price?
45 ADA, and I just sold it because I'm like I'm never gonna like stake on Muesli Swap probably. I
Why
just
not?
it's not, there's so many other places you could stake, uh,
The
and I just
artwork too is something out of my nightmares. I don't know why. It's just unsettling.
yeah, they are
I
kind of
don't know
creepy,
why.
aren't
They're
they?
creepy. There's like they're just too happy and like
The
it's kind
thousand
of
yard
surreal.
stare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, but they surprisingly did well. I asked Mike if he was going to do one. He did not. Do you regret that decision?
no, there's
I
way
guess it
too much
was.
shit going on. There's way too many projects. This is what's
Yeah,
kind of this was kind of cool too. Um Cardano is going up. I was thinking everything else would bleed against it, but it seems like the NFT market's also picking up pace too. Like usually, like the last couple weeks, it's been one project that's been taking the lead, and now it seems like everything in the top 10 is like trending and it's like hot and heavy. So it's really hard to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this mint, I'm gonna do this mint, I'm gonna do this mint, because it's just too there's just too many. Like,
yeah. Sometimes I'm
um,
like, I'll just do like one mint a week or something. Or if there's nothing that seems interesting, I'm just like, I'll just skip it this week. Just depends on my mood, really. But yeah, there's so many mints, and it's like it's impossible to know which one is going to do well. A lot of them just happen, like, and you never reach the top 10. You never even see them on any charts, but like, yeah, there's so many different ways you can play it.
yeah,
But I have so many different NFTs now. Like, I'm kind of waiting for one to like come back in the fold. I'm like, I know one of these is gonna come back.
they always do.
Like sometimes dead rabbits will jump back, and go on a little run, but nothing has gone like parabolic.
Well, the thing I'm also curious about, like especially watching the Vox Kong play out, is how to play that right because you hold the original asset. You hold Vox Kongs. They're gonna have magic mushroom Kongs.
Yeah.
How do you diversify that? Like, what do you sell? What do you keep? Or do you just keep everything and just see what happens? It's really hard um,
Yeah.
because you also want to make a profit, right? You also like at the end of the day, you want more ADA, right? Or I guess it depends on what your philosophy is. You might not want more ADA. Like, you might just want more NFTs. Like,
I think it would make sense to like if you hold one of these blue chip NFTs like Chilled Kongs that gives off that like basically airdrops you stuff for cheap, and then like you're supposed to just sell like that stuff,
derivative.
keep the main one. Yeah. Like I think you told me that. But um You know, for me personally, whenever I sell something like right away, it usually will bite me in the ass like a month
Yeah.
later when I see it like flying off the charts.
Do you want
But
to
you
talk about
never
aqua
know.
farmers or no?
I
Tell me you want to talk about aqua farmers without talking about aqua farmers.
wasn't talking about that specifically. That's just one of many examples of shooting myself in the foot. But that's why uh, there's like so many different philosophies. Like some people want to sell right away, some
Yeah.
people want to hold long term. And when you're like me, you try to do both. Like, sometimes it doesn't work out.
But like,
Um,
okay, but here's the other thing too. It's one thing if this is your living, but if you have
yeah,
a day job, it doesn't hurt as much because you could keep bringing capital in to Cardano, and then
yeah,
you're basically giving yourself more bullets, right? Because like maybe those don't hit, but you might have something that does, and like that's my worry too. Like I think history repeats itself a lot, and I think like watching Bored Ape Yacht Club on Ethereum, I just think that's going to happen here. I don't know what project it's going to be, and I don't want to miss out on it. You know what I mean? But I
right.
definitely think there will be a brand that just fucking hits, and it will go into the mainstream, and you're gonna want a piece of that. So it's like I don't want to sell one of these things for a couple thousand ADA when it might be worth like 100,000 in a year or two. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
that's
I
why I'm
had the
fine just
same
like keeping it
thought.
in my wallet because I still have belief that like a lot of these teams are going to build something really interesting and like I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'd rather just keep it in my wallet and then just keep buying, dollar cost averaging my ADA.
I think at first I screwed up, but I like learned from it. I mean, I didn't screw up horribly, but I just bought everything. Like I was good, just went ape shit and bought any project that was new or cool sounding. And I wasn't really like looking into what they were doing
Yeah.
or, was it a good price? I just had money to blow. So um, now that I'm a little bit deeper into it, I feel like I've started to form more of like an opinion or like what a theory that works for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm using that like structure when I'm buying NFTs instead of just like going out and just, fucking around and finding out.
Yeah. It's spraying everywhere.
But I think I had to go through that initial process
You
to
have
get
to.
to figure out, what I
Some
want
type
to
of
do.
philosophy.
Yeah.
But like also things are evolving too. Like I wanted to show you this. What are jelly
They're
cubes, Eric?
cubes and they're made of jelly.
And that's why I want one.
And that's why I'm
Um,
bullish.
so there's 2,500 of them. Um,
Hold on, hold on.
so,
Can you go up?
yeah,
Exclusive access to Block Investment Alpha Group.
this is why
Oh,
people are
okay.
buying them.
You see, I hate, no offense, but I hate that shit. Like, I don't believe in these investment groups. Like, I think they're all a scam.
Right.
But I mean, maybe this one isn't. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
But keep
I.
going.
This is why I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what this alpha group gives you. Right. So you get crypto NFT plays. Right. So they're gonna help you find out what's gonna pop. Supposedly, the release calendar for these NFTs that are coming out, a release breakdown, so you can basically be like, oh, they're probably going to see NFT tools, you know, charting everything, Catalyst news updates. So I don't know why you would need that. Um,
Just go to the website. But
supports.
okay.
The block is hot. Block fun plays. So basically, things that aren't NFTs. I'm assuming so like different tokens that are coming out. And then exclusive YouTube content for guides, setups, and strategies. So basically, they're gonna help you sling NFTs, right? And that's what one
And
of
they got
these.
a big bong right next to everything. So they're
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 they're legit.
professional. Yeah.
Uh, like-minded
tools,
individuals. So basically, they're saying you're going to be a part of a community of people.
echo chamber.
Uh, you're getting ADA rewards for
Groupthink.
contributors, weekly
Okay.
games and prizes, elected block members. So basically, they're monetizing their Discord, right?
People have done this before,
I know.
and it's
But
always a scam. Like
so
I've seen so many videos about these like these groups that are
well, that's
like
why, yeah. So basically, they're gonna have their own stake pool. They're giving you exclusive access to their block investment group, development content provider. Uh, basically, they're monetizing what other people are giving you for free, and they're saying we're
nice.
selling it. So
I can give people my alpha
well, yeah.
and they can lose money too. But it's like, who are these people and why is their opinion more valuable than
So here's the
like, does
only
it,
interesting thing: the royalty fee, 10% majority of which will go back into developing the alpha group and block drops.
so they say,
So they say.
but is there like a white paper for how they're going to, you know, redistribute it?
I'm not sure.
Can you go to meet the owners down there?
Meet
Are
the
they
owners.
doxxed?
Yeah.
They're
So
doxxed.
Jason's the owner influencer. Kate is your illustrator. Thomas is the
Watch some
marketing.
of these, Mike.
Shall we? You want
Love to watch it. Yeah, it's
What's up, guys? Jason here, otherwise known as Block from the Block is Hot YouTube channel, where I cover CNFT content as well as crypto related content. And I'm excited to announce my role in this project in Jelly Cubes and in the overall Block investment group as CEO slash influencer slash operations guy slash idea guy, such as slash community manager and slash a bunch of stuff. And if you guys know, if you've ever started a business before, usually the CEO in the beginning has a lot of different hats. And I do believe that I'm going to be able to execute on these different roles very well as having a team already that is going to execute on the things that I am not good at. Which, thank God, guys, if I had to draw stuff or do the tech stuff, this would not be a great project. But overall, guys, I genuinely believe that we're going to absolutely kill this project as well as myself killing this role. I have a lot of experience in crypto and NFTs. I got involved in 2017, and as being a YouTuber, I'm constantly dissecting different projects of what they did well, what they didn't do well, what we could implement instead, as well as building connections and relationships with all of these different projects that I've covered or interviewed the owners with, so we can do collabs and different giveaways there, as well as being
to?
connected with
Okay.
different influencers
as well as being very smart and knowing stuff. I love how like it's always how long you've been in crypto. Like it's like a hierarchy, you know?
Say that again.
Like I love how in crypto it's always like how many like you say the year you got into crypto, and that's like the hierarchy of like how much shit you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, year 2020, only one. You've only been through one bear market. Come on, bro.
It's
But
funny though. Like I
20,
know people who have been here longer than that. I know people who've been here 2016. Like, and they don't know shit. So it like I don't know if that necessarily validates somebody. Like,
it's
because
more
like
about what you've learned. If you've been here for 6 years and you haven't learned anything, like
you have to, yeah, you just kind of have to vet people and like have a conversation with them or like listen to their interviews or their podcast to really understand if they know what the fuck they're talking about. Because somebody might be really good in, like, the Bitcoin guys are really good at Austrian economics, but as far as
mhm.
like talking about technology, they're so their mind is so warped because anything that's a DApp is a scam, right?
Yeah,
If it's not sound money, like it doesn't make sense to them. Like if it's not on their blockchain, it doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, then you're like missing like all this thing that like is happening that's financial freedom for other people. Like, and like most of those influencers, they're millionaires, so they don't have to deal with like regular people shit anymore. and they're always
Yeah.
trying to save everybody, but they don't really have a plan for you. like just use the Lightning Network. Like that'll save you. And it's like
Yeah,
I'm
that's always
flipping
their
NFTs for
buzzword.
money on Cardano. Like, why am I gonna use the Lightning Network, which has absolutely nobody on it? Like, doesn't make
But
sense.
it's fast. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would now that I've seen that, I probably won't touch that. But will you? Were you thinking
No,
about
no,
it?
you know what? I thought I was kind of excited about it, but like going through the that little tidbit, it's kind of like you could do that with any project. Like if you go into Chilled Kongs, they have like all their categories and everything's for free. And like the community, they're already talking about other projects most of the time. Like, what are you guys minting this week? And
Yeah,
like all things considered, like those groups are successful already. Like they have thousands of people, and like most of the whales and like Chilled Cardano or Chilled Kongs, that they know their shit, man. They're like really like I'd want to hang out there than some new group. I don't know anybody yet. Like it's brand new. Like Chilled
yeah,
Kongs have been around for over a year now. Like they've been through
yeah,
some shit. Like their advice is way better than a new group's advice, a new Discord where you're starting from scratch, a new community. It's like, and it's free. Like I don't have to spend 1,000 ADA to enter the group. But I like the
I think the
idea of
thing
it.
is
Like,
like no, my philosophy is like no one is ever gonna help you make money. Everyone wants to make themselves money,
yeah,
and they're gonna give you their alpha is really like their beta. Like they're
yeah,
telling
yeah.
you
Yeah,
what
buy
they
my
want you to
bags.
know.
Right, because how do you
Yeah,
know that guy isn't that guy who's giving you that information hasn't already bought the NFT that, like you see it over and over again like with the YouTube guys like what is it that dork crypto whatever.
Bit Bitboy or
BitBoy
whatever.
crypto or yeah. That's all he does. He dumps his bags on his viewership. It's awful.
And then he forgets the next week and he's on to something else.
Yeah, wasn't he trying to sue Celsius even though he was like one of their main
He helped
advertisers?
pump it. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of ironic because we talk about projects on here and stuff. So, and we're on YouTube, guys. So,
Yeah, but
but
the difference
I
is
don't
we
know.
tell you we're dumping on you.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And the difference is we don't make money. So, there you go. We're just trying to figure this whole thing out, you guys.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation on the interwebs.
So, now I feel bad for making fun of that project, but I mean, I calls them like I sees them.
You didn't really make fun of it. Like, we just have questions. And, like, who knows? We could have a conversation with them if they're open
Yeah.
to it, and we can get into the nitty gritty. But it's like, it's just a different way to invest. And, like you said, at the end of the day, this is a free market. It's player versus player. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, as much as you think everyone's your best friend on here, they'll fucking dump their NFTs on you if they can get an extra 100 ADA. Like, they just will. Like,
Yeah. I remember with the like on the Churs Discord, someone was like, "Hell yeah, I just bought this NFT, or I just minted this one. It's pretty sweet." And then they tweeted it out, and then I checked like a JPEG store, and it was listed for like half the mint price, and I was like, "Seriously, dude? Like, you couldn't wait a day or something?"
he did that all in the same day.
Yeah,
That's
like within the same
incredible.
couple hours, I was like, "Holy shit, this guy's
Wait, so he
genius."
bought it and then he sold it for half the price?
Yeah,
Holy
but
shit,
also
man.
like he wanted the clout on the internet
It's
while it's
like,
listed.
well, that's why I love this space too. It's like you get to see like how the human psyche works in real time. Like you can map out that dude's day in the morning where he's like super hyped about buying this NFT, and then in the afternoon he starts questioning his decision. And then by the end of the day, he's like freaking the fuck out because he's like, I needed that money. Like, I'm trying to sell it. I'm like, I'll take whatever I could get for it.
Yeah. I I guess like he's like, if I don't get a one of one, I'm dumping it for half the price. I don't know
God
how you're
bless
gonna
you.
make that work for you, but
Yeah.
this space is very entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of
So
entertaining, let's talk about Raison Tigre. They're coming out with their
let's
PFPs.
let's talk about it.
Do you
They
have that information at all?
I can pull it up on Discord.
Thank you, sir. Much
A
love,
lot of
no
people
hate.
don't I feel like people don't know too much about this project. Maybe because the small amount of NFTs or something. But they got a they got a lot going on.
Yeah, I like it too. I think they can you could like kind of look back at like overexposed and the way they kind of took that playbook where it's they have 1,000 of their
Yeah.
Genesis token, right? And that whitelist you for their PFP, which ended up doing pretty well. I don't I don't know if the overexposed projects like doing anything else, but that whole thing did well. So this is some alpha for y'all. I think these PFPs might have their moment in the sun. I do really like this project though. I love the artwork. It feels like a video game to me.
Yeah. And this is where we're gonna cut our video, and like this stuff is only for our premium members.
This
So
is for guys. Make sure you get our NFT.
make sure you buy the chilled Cardano NFT, and you'll get 90% of our royalties and all of our alpha. But yeah, I guess we'll give you
You
some
ask how we're making any money. We don't know either.
we're doing it for you guys. It's
We're
not
doing
about
it for
us.
you.
But so basically if you have two of their Genesis NFTs, you'll get whitelisted for this PFP. It's called Mechanists. Um, there's a lot of TBA on here, but that's the main announcement. I think was just you'll be able to get one. We don't know the price, but the and the spoiler is kind of weird. It's just like his eyes, which is super creepy.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think they're like 150 ADA right now. When they first released, they were up to like 350, so they've come down quite a bit. Um, luckily, I kept two, so I'll be able to get one of these, and yeah, I think they'll do pretty well. What do you think, Mike? And then
Yeah.
there's a public sale, so should be interesting.
Like I said, I mean, like this is kind of just one of those things where I think you'll be able to make some money off of it. Like definitely grab a couple of those original Genesis, uh, 1,000.
See what
See
they're
where
at
they're at.
right now. Yeah, they haven't gone up too much yet, so I think if you can get them under 200 ADA, it's probably a good call. I forgot what they minted at, but there's only 1,000 of them, so it's gonna once people start buying into them, the price is gonna go up pretty quick. Um, and then if you want to buy them above like 200, go for it. But that that's where I would buy in if I was. I haven't really seen. There was a slight run yesterday, I guess. Nothing crazy, but I feel like when these announcements come out, I always think I used to think like there's going to be an immediate response. People are going to
Right.
want them right away. But it's you realize people are so like I don't know. Well, they're probably busy too, but they're not like me who just is on
You're gonna
Discord
have
all
like the 5% get it like faster than you. They're gonna buy them, price gonna raise, it's gonna come back down, and then like the majority of people who have a life are gonna see that information throughout the week, and then they'll buy. So it tends to take at least a couple of weeks, but I mean, you will see it. It'll just be like, and then then it'll
it'll
be
be
in
a
the
slow
this,
climb.
it'll be in the zeitgeist,
Yeah.
So I just think the artwork in here
Reminds
is awesome. I
yeah.
honestly think they have a nice little base of people in their Discord, and I think they'll ruffle enough feathers where people will be putting it in their Twitter profile. Like me, I'll probably have one.
I
I
feel like
really
this
like this project. I'm
project
a
is like
dork.
if you know you know type thing.
Yeah, 100.
It's not
percent
a mainstream. It's like an indie project, bro. Like, this is their like we only listen to their old album.
Right.
Like
Did they release their white paper? I kind of want to check it out. I haven't had a chance to, but I think they may have released it.
it's a great question. Oh, I should probably go to the one that says white paper. Coming
Coming
soon.
soon. Okay, so not yet.
So now that you reminded me, I'm going to talk about another project that is whitelisting. FUD Buddies are doing the FUD Pets, Mike. So basically, how this is going to work, if you have, for every one FUD buddy you have, you'll get whitelisted for one FUD pet, and you'll pay 40 ADA and 42,069 FUD coins to mint, which is kind of convoluted, but I mean, they did it for the meme. So, they're all about the memes, which I appreciate. And then the public mint will be like a few hours later for 60 ADA straight up. So it's kind of a similar thing. That announcement was like earlier this week. Let's look at the FUD Buddies price. So it was, when it came out, it was like 58 ADA floor. And you can see people have slowly been buying. Ooh, someone sold real low. And now it's getting up to like 70 ADA. So I think this is a good one. I think you'll
Why do
make
you like
money.
this one so much? Tell me what is
Just
it?
love projects that have like good communities.
Yeah.
And I don't even like, at first I was like, I don't care about this project. It seems dumb. Like, I get the meme, whatever. But then I kept seeing it on Twitter, and it's like always in your face. And I think like marketing wise, that's like a huge deal. Like, to always get like people's attention, and get that like name recognition. I think like the mainstream buyers really like, gravitate to that sort of thing. And then, so I'm like, why not just buy into it? It's not expensive.
Right.
Like, and I think memes are really important in crypto. Like, if you have a good meme game, like, it draws people in and it's like fun. And a lot of
Yeah.
projects try too hard to be serious when it's really, at the end of the day, you're buying JPEGs. And I appreciate that they're like, this is all,
Sense of
we're just
humor.
having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And then they called out the thing that really drew me in is when they called out the Clapes for copying the Chilled Kong's roadmap thing. And I was like, that's ballsy, like, and it's hilarious. Like, so I was like, maybe they are like, they have, what's it called? Integrity, despite the fact that they're joking about rug pulling and all this stuff.
Right. I like that.
So yeah, that's why I like it. It could go to zero. I mean, they joke about it all the time, but I like a good community.
Anything else in the top? Keep rugging me. Anything else in the top 10 that we want to take a look at?
The only thing I'll mention, I'm surprised the Clay Nation pitches aren't going, like more people aren't buying them because you get like 5,000 Clay tokens airdrop to you.
Where are they at right now?
They're at 439. I mean, I guess it's quite expensive, but
well, I guess it depends on how much those Clay tokens are gonna be worth, right?
Right.
I think they'll be worth a lot.
Like, you think they'll be worth more than like Yummy tokens?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on
first, folks.
Yummy tokens like a half an 0.005 ADA.
Yeah.
And I think with the like there's this thing with the Clay people where they're like boasting about like not baking their Clay. So basically the Clay that you hold will always have that Clay token attached to it, which would make the price go up. So it's like I get it. So I think like that'll make the price increase of the token because there's not going to be a lot of tokens out there.
Yeah. I'm sure like once they airdrop all the tokens, these are just gonna, plummet to the ground because people always want to sell off once they get their free rewards,
Right.
You kind of saw that with like the Yummy Universe, the little statue things. They like the price cut in half as soon as they did that airdrop, which makes sense because they don't really have any utility beyond that. I'm also surprised the regular Clay mates have never stay above 3,000 ADA. Like that resistance is so strong, and I'm interested to see like what causes them to go above that and like if it just blows up after that and goes nuts because it's such a crazy resistance.
The thing I like about that team is they don't like boast about what they have coming. Like they'll just do it. And
yeah,
that's the other interesting thing that they're doing about the Clay token is they specifically said when we release it, we'll release it. We're not telling anybody. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. I kind of like that because it's like you can't really game the market. Like unless you're like really paying attention to your wallet at all times, which most people aren't, So I'll be able to dump on everybody before you.
Well, we'll see about that.
I'm kidding, people. Kidding.
I think that's all I got, Mike.
Yeah, that'll do it for us this week, y'all.
I rugged myself a couple times there, but we made it through. So
yeah.
Any advice for our viewers this week?
Don't get rugged, guys. Just keep your head up and enjoy this little pump that we're getting. Hopefully it sustains till next time we see ya.